We are your home theater and AV questions answered. This is AVRant. Want your home theater or AV question answered by Tom and Rob? Send it to question@avrant.com. Welcome to AVRant. I'm Tom Andry, and I'm here with
Rob H.
All right, let's go for our one question, one extremely long question from Justin, not Bieber, last week. That's left over from last week. Justin heard us loud and clear regarding his garage theater idea, which was to do not do that.
Yeah.
To
Not in this situation.
So when guys whose whole podcast is based on home theaters, they don't get a home theater. Like, you might want to listen to that. To begin, he's going to focus on headphones. He signed up to hear a demo of the Smyth Realiser at a convention in a few weeks, so that's still very much on the table. So the number one, or A, or whatever we're going. He's all over the place on headphones. Audis, Oppo, Sennheiser, Hi-Fi Man. The prices vary greatly, but they're all highly praised. Is there anyone that really stands out for value? Yes, the Oppo PM2s.
Except they don't sell those anymore.
I know, but they were a great value. That
They
would
were
be
a
the
great value.
easy answer to this inquiry right here. That would be the easy answer.
That's true.
Yeah, so none of these are cheap.
Right.
Not if you go the high-end ones. So I don't know that there's one that stands out, in my mind at least, for value.
I mean, to me, the Sennheiser HD650s
Yeah.
are a darn good value for some darn good
How much are those?
headphones at home. I'm not sure how much they're selling for. They're under 500 anyway.
Oh, wow. 'Cause
yeah.
everything else is going to be closer to $1,000 than 500 for most of the
Yeah,
other
so I mean,
stuff
like
in
I say,
here.
like I like the Audis LCD2s a lot. I particularly like that they have strong bass. So if you want to use them for movie watching,
Yeah.
they have strong bass and still very extended treble. So I quite, but they're $1,000. So you're not saving
This is what you
anything
do.
over the other ones.
You find a place to listen to these Sennheisers that Rob's talking about. That's what you do. You find a place to listen to those. And
Okay, so
then
Amazon has them for $270. So that's significantly under $500.
That is significantly, yeah. Or you order them from Amazon with a good return policy, and you take them with you to test everything else, and then you just A/B them back and forth and say, is this worth the extra $750 it's going to cost me for this? Oppo, you won't be able to do that.
Oh wait, that was a reseller. They got them for $400. That's a very different price.
$600. It's going to be worth 600 extra bucks to have the Audis or the Hi-Fi Man. The Oppo, I don't know how you're going to do that one, dude. You might have to order them and return them.
What, like the
If you don't like
PM1s?
Yeah, the PM1s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are over $1,000. So
I know.
if you
But
if you go
really
to the
wanna know-
Wirecutter recommends Hi-Fi Man, their 400Ss,
Yeah.
which are about $500.
Yeah.
So it's the HE400Ss. Those also show up on Inner Fidelity. They're still on their wall of fame for all the headphones that he really, really likes. Tyle Hertzen over there at Inner Fidelity. So what is sort of universally said about the Hi-Fi Man is that they're very, very nicely detailed, really open, spacious, accurate sound, but not particularly strong bass. So if there's one, it's not even a criticism because they're like, it's actually very accurate bass.
Right,
but
right,
most
right.
people are looking for a little bit more than just
More
accurate
than-
bass.
yeah.
They're looking for a little bit of emphasized.
Yeah, can fix that because he's going to be
Yeah.
listening to it through a computer anyways, right?
Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, those are, I mean, he says, what stands out for value? I think those Hi-Fi Man 400Ss stand out for value because they're about $500 and they keep all the, planar type of sound.
Right, right.
So to me, those stand out as value.
So he says the Smyth Realiser is an option, but he does watch the vast majority of his content using his HTPC encoding. Could you just use the out of your head software instead in that case? It's way less expensive than the Smyth Realiser.
Yes, you could.
You could, absolutely. If you go and read their FAQ, it will tell you all about that. So
Which is actually the next question, so we'll handle it there. Yeah.
we'll go there. If he does use the out of your head software, how does that enter the signal chain? He would still want to be able to use regular speakers with his TV sometimes. So he'd want the out of your head software when using headphones, but the regular sound when he's using speakers. Is that possible?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you can turn it on and off to begin with. I
Yeah,
downloaded it.
Well, I just want to mention the out of your head software just shows up in your sound settings as another sound output option.
Right.
So like, you know, if you go in there and you look at what are all of my sound output options, it's the headphone jack, the HDMI port, the optical port, you know, my analog stereo audio outputs, and then out of your head software will be an additional one once you install it. So it's as simple as that. You could still have your computer connected to your you know, full surround sound system with HDMI. When you want to use that, you just go into your computer's sound settings and select the HDMI output as your sound output device. When you want to switch over to the out of your head software, you just set it to the out of your head software as your sound output device, and now the sound comes out however you've connected your computer to the headphones. So that's all there is to it.
Right. So I downloaded it because you are forced to download it before you buy it.
Yeah, that's right.
You must download it and it, and it has like a bunch of different settings or configurations in there, and you're allowed to try each one of them for like 3 minutes, I think is how it works, and then it locks that one out. I didn't really test it for that long, but so I listened to it for a few seconds. It was literally a few seconds. It was maybe 30. So I didn't have much time, and I frankly went, ooh, that sounds weird. And then I was like, afterwards, I was like, okay, it sounds weird because it took the sound from where I'm used to, which is basically like Rob being inside my head, to not being inside my head, which is weird if you're wearing headphones.
Almost out of your head, as the case might be.
Almost. I didn't like it. But then again, this is what it comes down to, and I caution you as well when you give this thing a try. You listen to it for 30 seconds, you're not going to like it. I think I guarantee that's pretty much everybody's first reaction. I don't think anybody heard it the first time and went, whoa, that's amazing. That's the best. That's what I was looking for. The first time you're like, this is different than what I'm used to. Different is bad. Kill it with fire. So you need to give it a chance.
Right.
And I did not give it a full chance yet. And I will, but I didn't give it a full chance yet. And be prepared, because you only got like 3 minutes with this thing. So be prepared to have some content on hand similar to what you're going to be experiencing in the future.
Yeah.
What you're going to be using it for. So I think the way it works is you get one configuration for like the $150
for the price.
Costs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can buy additional configurations
for like $25 a pop.
That's right.
So it's not cheap if you're not sure which one you like. You know, you want to make sure you know which one you like before
if you already have the computer, definitely cheaper than the $1,700 Smyth Realiser. So
that is true.
There is that.
And we'll see.
Yeah, so I mean, the out of your head software is actually using the algorithms from the Smyth Realiser, so it's based on the same technology.
Right.
But of course, the out of your head software is not taking your own personal measurement. So it's based on sort of either the generic dummy head or someone else's head measurements. And then there's also no head tracking, which is the other part of the Smyth Realiser. Smyth Realiser gives you a little device that actually connects to the headphones you're wearing, has a little basically camera up front, and it actually tracks your head movement so that if you turn your head to the right or left, the speakers seemingly stay stationary rather than following wherever you turn your head. So it makes it that much more convincing with the Smyth Realiser versus the software solution.
I don't know if that's worth an extra $1,500, but that is really cool. You know what I mean? That would make it seem a lot more real.
It's a little more virtual reality.
Than this thing. So if he's using the HTPC and the out of your head software, what would be a good headphone amplifier for under $500?
Can't you use your AV receiver?
Yeah, I was going to say there's a whole bunch of them out there, and honestly, why not just plug into your AV receiver and see how it sounds? I mean,
although to be fair, I've had some AV receivers that had kind of hiss-laden headphone jacks because they don't always put a ton of money into the headphone jack of AV receivers. So that would be fair enough if that's the case.
But I would at least give it a try before I did anything else. You've already got the AV receiver,
right? So
start there. But if you're going to go for a headphone amplifier from your computer, you could get like a USB powered one. There's a whole bunch of them out there. Depending on your headphones you buy too, they might be kind of power hungry. So you may need a headphone amp. I mean, the one I have here is the Emotiva one, the Stealth.
Yeah, the Stealth DC one.
Yeah, that's not the same one that I have though. I think the one I have is
updated
older.
it. Maybe,
they updated it or something, so it's a little bit different.
The good news is though, if you do go with those Hi-Fi Man headphones, they are not difficult to drive. So you wouldn't need a lot of power for them. It'd be more about
Sennheisers. Would the Sennheisers need it?
Those could benefit. Those could benefit. The HD650s are not super easy loads to drive, so
there's a lot of options. There's a little ones too, right? Like the Dragonfly. Was that Dragonfly?
Oh yeah, the Dragonfly would be a fine choice. I like that one from TIAC.
Yeah, and then there's Cambridge Audio makes the small one too that I like. That just broke. don't use that as any sort of indication of quality, because whatever. But there's a lot of them out there under $500. If you want to get something really super nice, you get the Oppo one, right? Which is
That's over $500.
Way over. Well, I know, but it's way overkill for what you need, and it is, basically
the Emotiva is a very good, like, this is a component. It sounds really good. It has no noise floor. It'll drive anything. So that's a very safe choice.
Yeah. So part of the reason he was so set on a dedicated theater is because his new living room is far from ideal. There is a, quote, terrible, unquote. I'm not saying it's terrible. He's saying
that's
terrible.
his word.
Built-in space above the fireplace, which is the only spot for his TV, and it leaves no place for regular speakers. Technically, if you move all those books out of the way, it leaves lots of space for speakers, but let's not get into that. So Justin is looking for, I guess you're showing a picture at this point.
Yeah.
So Justin is looking for on-walls or perhaps a really good sound bar. It's really funny he said really good sound bar. Like, there's such a thing.
Well, Paradigm
there's
Soundscapes is
less bad than
B&W, they have theirs.
Whatever. Justin's looking for on-walls or probably I said that. Would we recommend putting on-walls to either side so high... up high so that they're in line with this TV, or would it be better to have them all lower, basically in the space between this built-in and the fireplace, which is about 5 inches below seated ear level? Clearly, a sound bar could go in the gap above the fireplace. You say that clearly, but who knows what's there?
Like oh, it's not two fireplaces. It's a fireplace and a. That is a slightly odd design.
It is.
There's like a cabinet.
How is that not? Is it? Oh, it is a cabinet. I thought it was two fireplaces.
It's a cabinet next to the fireplace. You see, yeah.
That's very strange.
So anyway, there's a clear gap between the fireplace / cabinet and the TV built-in. I mean, I don't see it as the only two options. And like, you could have 3 on-wall speakers. Yes, your center could go below the television. Then your left and right could go at ear height, as opposed to up so high that you need to angle them down, or down so low you need to angle them up. Like the left and right. Clearly, there's space where those could go and just at ear height, so why not that?
Yeah.
That's my suggestion.
I mean, you just move some of that stuff out of the way, man. Get rid of some of that stuff. Your wife was like, I hate that guy. No, seriously, get rid of some of that stuff. Just put it in a different place. And just put some small bookshelf speakers on either side and, something there as well.
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't mind having the front left and right speakers farther apart than where the actual bookshelf shelves
Yeah,
are.
but it's gonna be right next to that door. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's gonna be
that's
right
fine if it's
next
an
to that
on-wall.
door.
What is for? Skinny little on-wall, looking all slender and such.
I don't know. I think it's gonna look weird in here, and I'm worried about this. I think that this wall, whatever the flue is for, the up thing for the. Where this built-in ends is not that much space before you get to the actual fireplace.
Yeah, but I mean, surely there's a stud right on the edge of that thing.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that about running wires and trying to make it look clean and all that stuff. You might have to. The solution to that would be to, run the wire along, behind the, like drill a hole straight through, through all the whatever those cutouts are, drawers or whatever. Okay, I lost my place here. So anyways.
All right.
His wife hates the look of the Focal Superbirds. Okay, that's fine. She liked the look of the Canton GLE 410s, which are available from accessories for less. He also thought of GoldenEar SuperSats and Axiom M3s and M22 on-walls, as well as the KEF or Snap AV episode sound bars. Have we heard the Canton on-walls? Do we have a top pick for on-walls or a sound bar in this setup? Did he give us a price? He didn't give us a price.
No, he said his budget is quite flexible for on-walls, so he's like, whatever you think is best.
Well, on-walls are a little bit... I have a friend who has, and I helped install them there, those on-walls, those weird on-walls from Axiom. Is it the M3s? I think is what's...
Probably the M3s.
The M3s, because they're not the M22s for sure. And they're fine. They're fine. They're fine.
Yeah, he said he already doesn't really like the Axiom centers. We tend to agree with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You have good taste in not liking centers.
That's right, yeah.
So the M3s are fine. I don't know that I would say I love them, but they are not bad. They are perfectly adequate. I'm trying to think of something under. Doesn't KEF have that really cool on-wall?
Yeah, they have their T-series. They're extremely thin.
Yeah.
From front to back, that is. Extremely flat. They really can't play very loud.
Well, how far away is he sitting from
well,
this thing?
that's
no
just
idea.
it. I'm not entirely sure. So, I mean, that's the thing here, Justin, is if you're 12 to 15 feet away maximum.
God, if he's 12 to 15 feet away from this TV, dude.
Yeah, I know, right?
Why? He not only needs bigger speakers, he needs binoculars.
But yeah, I mean, that if you're 12 to 15 feet away, then basically any on-walls we're going to mention are going to be fine, just in terms of sheer output. If you're farther than 15 feet away, then you start needing to really consider output capability. So I'm going to assume you're not more than 12 to 15 feet away. Again, like looking at the size of the TV, we're hoping that you're not. And those Canton ones aren't very big, so if that's what you were possibly going to go for.
I should have looked those up to see
They're
what
just
they were.
very, very small little flat. I mean, I was going to suggest to you Ascend Acoustics' new Sierra Lunas, considering there was no budget given, $1,150 for a pair, so they're not cheap. But considering that Sierra 2s were front runners for you previously,
Right.
Sierra Lunas, no reason why those wouldn't continue to be front runners, and now you have an on-wall version, essentially. If you want something that's the skinny stick style, ones that I ended up purchasing myself because they were the only ones where the center speaker satisfied me, because man, a lot of on-wall centers are literally just the front, left, right, turned sideways, and they sound awful that way because they have no horizontal dispersion. So Revel, their Concerta on-walls are overpriced in my opinion, but at least they have a good sounding center that actually matches the front, left, right, and they're the skinny stick style that would definitely fit both your decor and your available space. The GoldenEar SuperSats would also be quite a good choice here. They have a characteristic sound. So
we've discussed that ad nauseum on this podcast.
I personally think it's a fairly pleasing characteristic sound, but not everybody will. So those would be worth an audition because, at least in form factor and output capability actually as well, they'll be able to handle pretty much anything you throw at them. So those would be my three top choices for you. None of them
we
are
didn't
cheap.
answer his question. The Canton ones. Well,
I haven't heard them.
I haven't heard them either. I have only heard. Have I even? I believe I've heard a Canton speaker. That tells you how much I remember of it. So I don't know. I'm gonna go a little bit afield from Rob here and say, if your wife likes them and they will be loud enough, you may just want to go. Yeah, we'll get whatever you want, honey, because.
But the look of them is so similar to, say, the Sierra Lunas.
Yeah.
But the price delta is huge. So
right. So those are got to be, especially if they're on accessories for less, they've got to be cheap. So yeah,
it's like $300 a pair versus $1,200.
I'll either get the thing that's going to sound really good and you will like, or get the thing that makes her happy, whichever one,
and is very affordable.
And is very affordable. Whichever one in the end, because your real theater listening is going to come with your headphones. It's what you're spending your real money on.
Yeah, these are for I want sound while I'm watching TV. So
that's right. I guess sound bars, dude, might not be a terrible. I mean, I don't.
No, but you can do better than any sound bar with any of these.
I'm actually thinking one of those plinths, those little sound platforms.
Where?
Right underneath his TV, he's got room.
TV?
That TV is tiny. It's got like 1.5 feet above it. Just scooch it up, and put it underneath there. Those sounds have a lot more bass, at least.
I guess.
Anyways, he has his dual PC 2000 subwoofers. He'd love to retain their tactile sensation even when he's using headphones. He knows the Smyth Realiser offers a subwoofer output. The bass will still be playing on the headphones, so maybe that would seem uneven. I don't know. Is he suggesting that he's going to have the subwoofer still playing while he's...
That is his suggestion.
On? That is a terrible suggestion, sir. But anyways, let's go on. And if he goes with the out-of-your-head software instead, is there still a way to use his subwoofers while using his headphones? You should get a ButtKicker.
Tactile transducer?
Yep. That is the solution for this problem right here.
Which is almost exactly what the Smyth Realiser output was designed for.
Yeah.
Was more like a ButtKicker.
It goes to a device that shakes your couch. So
Yeah.
you get that tactile sensation of bass while not
without
having
any
anybody
audible
hear.
Sound. Yeah.
That's right, and except for the bzzz
except some ka-chunking.
Yeah, which might bother your wife. Who knows? I don't think it's a good idea for you to try to put on bass while you're listening to headphones. You're not going to experience it because there is audible portions of it, and you're not going to hear them through the headphones, even if they're open backs, which many of the ones you're looking at probably will be.
Mm-hmm.
But even if they're open backs, you're still not going to experience them the way that you should, and it's going to be weird. It's not going to sound good.
Yeah. Now, as to doing it with the software, that I don't know.
Well, it depends on what sound card he has too. Some
Yeah.
sound cards have subwoofer outputs. I've had one with.
But are you? I mean,
7.1
you have to.
outputs.
Are you allowed to output to 2 sound cards at the same time? Because the out of your head software itself basically acts as a virtual sound card,
Right.
and then you'd have to output to a second sound card or split. I mean, since the signal is still coming out of your PC somehow, I guess you could split that signal.
Yeah, I mean, if it's coming out via the HDMI, I mean, even the headphone output, right? You can split that. You can Y split it and then put a 3.1 to 3.5 to RCA or something like that.
Yeah, I guess that's how
plug
you
that
do it.
into
yeah,
it.
Yeah, you'd
through
split,
Tactile.
split whatever output you're using out of your PC. That's how you'd get that over to your subwoofers.
It's not a subwoofer. You're going to use Tactile
Transducer.
That's right.
Right.
So that's a solution for that.
Okay.
Which, by the way, I hate that solution too. I don't like the Tactile. I don't like the Tactile. It is the solution for your problem.
Yeah, ButtKickers are pretty good. They're pretty good.
I know that
if you don't jack them way up, they can be quite subtle and nice. So you don't have to go nuts with it.
Want your question answered? Send it to question@avrant.com. This is AVRant.
Now go out and listen to something.